a lot around this part of the country.
And the game shapes up almost as an absolutely even game. We'll be taking a look at American International College's football team when we return in just a moment. Paul Warfield, these two heated rivals primarily live by the run. American International is a team with a strong running game, and they have a quarterback at the throttle by the name of Brian McLean.
Well, Brian McLean has been a little bit inconsistent this year, but as of the last 3 ball games, Coach Bob Burke has been very happy with him. He's running that wing T offense very well, and he's mixing in with the pass just right.
You have to be an exciting breakaway runner in college football to gain over 300 yards in one game. Bob Bramble, number 24, had 309 against Amherst.
And he is really a dandy. A swift runner with 4.4 speed for the 40. He can make the big plays. You'll see him in the tailback position. You'll also see him outside catching passes. He's going to be the one guy that you're going to have to watch all afternoon because he can really go all the way.
We all know you can't do it with offense alone. You've got to play an awful lot of defense. Up front in the 5-man defensive front, Todd Lyon, number 75 for American International.
Defense has been a little bit of a disappointment for American International this year, but not a disappointment in Todd Lyon. Strong defender in the line. He stops the run in the middle. He puts the pressure on the passer. He does a good job.
The linebackers are so important in stopping the running game, and American International certainly has a good one in Mike Phillips, number 53.
Mike Phillips, perhaps the strongest man on the team. He flows well to the outside, stopping the sweep. He can get back into pass coverages. He's doing a fine job. He led the team in tackles last year.
So the Yellow Jackets have had that good balance between offense and defense, primarily a running ball club, but we know they'll throw some too.
Well, they'll throw a little bit just to keep another team off balance. But they've come along good in the last couple of ball games, and they're a team to watch.
If we have a game today like we had a year ago when AIC won it by a score of 41-27, what a ball game we're going to have. We'll be taking a look at the Chiefs of Springfield College, coached by Howard Vandersea, when we come back in just a moment. Well, these two teams in Division II are 4th and 5th in the nation in rushing. They both have an outstanding running game. And the Chiefs of Springfield College, Paul Warfield, they have a quarterback they call Cowboy. He's a left-hand passer. He is Jim Collis.
Think of left-handed passers, you usually think of Ken Stabler of the Oakland Raiders. Well, Collis is a left-handed passer, but he's a snake of a runner, you might say, because he really makes this running attack go. He runs the option very well. You'll see them run out of the power eye. They give you just about every look conceivably in the running game.
And they call him Cowboy because he's adventuresome. He's wild. He'll try anything to move the football. They have fine running backs for Springfield College. Number 32, Norm England. Watch him all day long. Dave Godin, 22. And Tony Cicero, 31, who takes over for George Richardson.
This trio of running backs are fine running backs, truly. They don't have the fanciness and the speed of American International used backs, but nevertheless, they give you the consistent yardage, and they turn out the yardage consistently during the ball game.
And they can't live by offense alone, just like the other team. They have to play good defense. They are led in their front 5 up front by 72, Brad Masurgeon, and linebacker 51, Mark Harriman.
Brad Masurgeon, fine defensive ball player. He's strong against the run. He also can put pressure on the passer. Harriman has done a good job at linebacker. He's a guy who's going to be back there in the pass coverages when the other team attempts to throw the football, and so look for him to come up with a big play.
Paul Warfield, we have a genuine All-American on our football field here this afternoon. He is the safety, Jack Quinn. He wears number 90. The crowd will see so much of him.
Jack Quinn is a guy that the pros are all looking for, primarily because he does a good job of defending against the run. We'll see him right up on the line of scrimmage, stopping the run. We'll also see him back in deep secondary, protecting against the pass. He does an excellent, excellent job.
The more we look at the two football teams, the more the game shapes up as a brand new, even football game. We'll be back as we approach more excitement in just a moment. We're here at Benedict Field in Springfield, Massachusetts, the 35th renewal of this marvelous rivalry between American International and Springfield College. And American International is coming on the field, led by their youthful head coach, Bob Burke, just 35. He's had 3 full years. They've all been winning campaigns. And American International, yes, the Yellow Jackets, are ready for a big football game this afternoon here in Springfield. They opened by beating Southern Connecticut 24-0. Lost to Norwich and Westchester, but bounced back beating Amherst 42-35. Lost a close one to CW Post, and last week they defeated Ithaca by a score of 24-19. It is the Yellow Jackets of American International, coached by Bob Burke. And now here comes the Chiefs of Springfield College. They'll be led onto the field by their youthful head coach, Howard Vandersea. Here comes Springfield. Springfield has won 5. They've lost only 1. They ripped off 5 victories in a row, defeating Cortland, Amherst, Southern Connecticut, Northeastern, a 1AA school. They lost to Ithaca 21-14. They came back to beat Central Connecticut 14-7 last week. They are the home team, but in reality, it's a home game for both ball clubs. So the teams are on the field, and we're all set for the 35th renewal of this marvelous football rivalry in Springfield. So we'll be back with all the excitement of the football game in a moment. Stay tuned for the Yellow Jackets of American International and the Chiefs of Springfield College. ABC Sports presents NCAA College Football. The Mayor's Trophy game from the city of Springfield, Massachusetts. American International Yellow Jackets versus the Springfield College Chiefs. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Chevrolet, who invites you to come see all the new 1980 Chevrolets at your Chevy dealers. By Texaco, with over 66,000 employees doing their best at the jobs to keep your trust. And by Lowenbrow. When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrow. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Bob Murphy here at Benedum Field in Springfield. We have a gray afternoon, a typical day for this time of the year in New England. We have a marvelous matchup between American International and Springfield College. It is the 35th renewal of this great rivalry. These two neighborhood colleges, this one is for the Mayor's Trophy. It is for the bragging rights, as they say. It is a marvelous football game to watch. And we are about ready for the opening kickoff. We are ready right now for the introduction of the players. And let's go to the sidelines and our colleague on our telecast, Paul Warfield.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the starting lineups for this afternoon's ball game for the visiting American International College. At right guard, number 64, Norm Gallagher, Halston, Massachusetts. At linebacker, number 53, Mike Phillips, Pittsfield, Mass. Split in, number 15, Jim Vallis, Fitchburg, Mass. Left tackle, Jim Shea, Jamaica Plains, Mass. Left guard, Tom Brubaker, Willimantic, Connecticut. At center, number 70, Ed Cibula, Chicopee, Mass. Right tackle, Ed Rakus, Springfield, Mass. Tight end, Gary Wright, Brattleboro, Vermont. Halfback, Bill Burke, Westfield, Mass. Fullback, Mark Strange, Wilbraham, Mass. Tailback, Bob Bramble, Brooklyn, New York. Quarterback, Brian McLean, Hamden, Connecticut. And head coach, Bob Burke, in his 4th year. All right, for their home team, Springfield College. Linebacker, number 90, Jack Quinn, Pittsfield, Mass. Linebacker, Mark Harriman, Westbrook, Maine. Defensive tackle, Dave Magazoo, Taunton, Mass. Defensive tackle, Brad Masurgeon, Poughkeepsie, New York. Offensive guard, Glenn Perry's, New Bedford, Mass. Center, Mike Dupree, Greenville, Mass. Offensive guard, Tony DeRico, Franklin, Mass. Offensive tackle, Ron Mix, Westville, Mass. Split in, Kevin Kenyon, Guilderland Center, New York. Flanker, Bob Orez, Oxford, Mass. Tailback, Dave Godin, Chicopee, Mass. Quarterback, Jim Collis, Kirkline, New York. and head coach Howard Vandersea in his 4th season.
What a scene on the field here at Benedict Field in Springfield, Mass. That is the Chiefs of Springfield College. They are fired up. Both teams are fired and ready for the big renewal of their ancient rivalry. We'll be back with a kickoff in a moment. Captain Jack Quinn of Springfield correctly called the toss by the referee Robert O'Donnell. The Chiefs elect to receive, and kicking off will be Jim Ballas of American International. The crowd standing, number 35, watch him. His name is Frank Manello, and he leads the nation, College Division II, in kickoff returns. He's had one 99-yard return this year for a touchdown, and that was against Ithaca. Frank Manello, M-O-N-E-L-L-O. He is just a junior, and he's averaged, get this, 31 yards per kickoff return. And Jim Ballas, number 15. He's the kicker for American International. And last week he was converted from defense to a wide receiver. We'll see him on offense today. So we are set for the action. It is American International and Springfield College. Jim Ballas kicks the ball. It's going to come up short, where it will be taken by Dave Goden. Goden, number 22, fumbles the ball. American International recovers on the 31-yard line. American International recovers on the 31-yard line. Tom Fiesco, number 47, covers the fumble. What a break on the opening kickoff, Paul Warfield.
It was a big break for American International. Here's a pretty good hit that will be coming up. The Jars of football are loose. Seco picks the ball up, falls down on it, and gives the ball to American International University. First big break of the ball game.
It was Tom Fiesco, a defensive back, who recovered the fumbles on the special teams. 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets on the 30-yard line just about. And Bramble, number 24, the brilliant tailback, gets to the line of scrimmage, and Baby about 1 more yard, and that's all that Bramble will get on his first carry of the day. He was met by Mark Harriman, the linebacker, number 51. For American International, the tackles are Jim Shea and Ed Rakes. The guards, Tom Brubaker and Captain Norm Gallagher, and the center is Ed Sabula. Wide receiver, Jim Ballas, number 15, and the tight end, they throw it to him a lot, is Gary Wright, number 92. Brian McLean at quarterback. Bob Bramble, Mark Strange, and Bill Burke are the running backs. And this is 2nd down and 10. Burke is the man in motion, and it is going to be Strange, the fullback, across the 25 and to the 24-yard line. Mark Strange, the fullback. And on defense now for Springfield College, the middle guard is Brian Haller, 71. Brad Masurgeon and Dave Magazoo are the defensive tackles. Lars Hauk and Tom Wisnowski at the ends. Frank Manello and Tony Paoletti, the defensive halfbacks. Doug McKinney and Mark Harriman, the linebackers. Captain Jack Quinn and Brad Culkin are the defensive safeties. This is 3rd and 4 from the 24. Bramble goes from the wing in motion, and this will be Strange, the fullback, and I believe a first down. Mark Strange, the senior fullback, and Paul Warfield, he's a big guy. He's 6'3" and 230 pounds. So make it Bill Burke, I'm sorry.
Bill Burke is the leading ball carrier on this roster of American International University. That time he came back on a reverse or inside counter. That's a play that's been very good for American International U all year.
1st and 10 on the 17. American International driving after getting a fumble on the opening kickoff. Bramble, number 24, goes in motion. Strange, number 23, the fullback, across the 15. Lars Hauk, number 80, the defensive end, is one in maroon who has a hand on him. Another is Doug McKinney, number 60, the linebacker.
Well, defense has been good for Springfield all year long. Right now, they're being tested early. We're going to find out exactly what they're made out of in this big ball game.
2nd down and 8, American International. Jim Ballas is a wide receiver wearing number 15. Gary Wright is the tight end, but he splits away, number 92. Burke, 43, comes in motion, and Bramble, 24, knifed down on the 11-yard line. Bob Bramble knifed down on the 11-yard line as he came back on a counter play. Big down coming up.
Well, that's the beauty of the wing T offense. You're going to see backs going in motion. You're going to be seeing counter plays, reverses, everything. It keeps the defense on its toes all afternoon long because you see it's just a lot of razzle-dazzle.
It is 3rd down and 5 on the 12-yard line. Ballas and Burke are both wide receivers, and they shift and they'll run from the power I. The fullback is Mark Strange. Bramble is the tailback. They give to Bramble. He's smothered. scramble slipped behind the line of scrimmage at the 16-yard line. Doug McKinney, the linebacker, number 60, led the charge along with the middle guard, Brian Haller, number 71. But there's the star of the play, Doug McKinney.
All right, it's on this delay draw. But Doug McKinney and certainly was not fooled on that play. He got a little bit of help from some of his teammates, jammed it up real nice. Good play called by American International U, but great defensive play by Springfield.
A 35-yard field goal attempt coming up. Jim Vallis will try it. The ball will be held by Brian McLean at the 22. Vallis boots the ball. It is maybe long enough, and we're waiting. It is good. It is good. 35-yard field goal by Jim Vallis, the senior kicker. And very early in the game, American International breaks out on front, leading 3-0. Will be coming right back for the kickoff. A 35-yard field goal by senior Jim Vallis. He, by the way, now has been successful on 5 of 7 this year. And so, American International breaks on top 3-0. They recovered a fumble on the opening kickoff of the game, and give credit to the Chiefs' defense. They stopped American International, but Vallis, a good kicker, gets the Yellow Jackets on the board. And this is Jim Vallis, number 15, who just kicked the field goal. Vallis now will kick off with Frank Manello and Dave Godin deep. And this one is going toward Frank Manello. He starts from the 8-yard line. And Manello across the 25, driven out of bounds on the 26-yard line. Craig Simpson, number 33, who's great on special teams, made the tackle. Now for the Chiefs of Springfield College, they'll have Mike Dupre at center with Glenn Pires and Tony DeRico at the guards. Steve Foster and Ron Ricks will be the tackles. At tight end, John Cherry, number 86, and the wide receiver is Kevin Kenyon, number 48. From their own 26-yard line, first down and 10. The quarterback is Jim Collis. They call him Cowboy. He is a left-hander. This is Cherry, the tight end, coming in motion. Norm England, number 32, the tailback, pushed out of bounds for American International by Rich Penny, number 90, the linebacker.
Well, that time it was a quick flip going into the near sideline, running into the sideline and trying to make as much yardage as they possibly could. Gain of about 4 yards, 3.5 yards on that play.
Now the play is being sent in by John Vella, number 44, replacing Kevin Kenyon. Collis, the quarterback, with Godin, England, and Oraz as the flanker back. Moving in motion is Cherry, the tight end, once again. That's something of a surprise. And this is Collis, the left-hand passer, now running. 35 down on the 37-yard line. Todd Lyon, number 79, made the tackle. Defensively for the Yellow Jackets, Bill Remza, the nose guard, number 52. Mike Phillips, 53, and Rich Penny, number 90. Kevin Pena, number 20, and Bob Poirier, 30, are the cornerbacks, with Mike Chaput and Ernie General as the safeties. It is first and 10. Collis pitching to England, number 32. England across the 40 and all the way up to the 43-yard line. Bob Poirier, number 30, the right cornerback, made the tackle, but very quickly the Springfield College Chiefs are springing into action. They have moved the football. They started on their own 26, and they've now come almost 20 yards upfield. They're on their own 44-yard line, second down and a yard to go. Jim Collis is the quarterback. Here comes Collis. He will run. Now he straightens up and throws, and it is intercepted by incomplete. He almost picked it off. Andy Cohen, number 46, made the dive for it, almost pulled it off, Paul.
Well, Collis is rolling to his left this time. He starts up to the line of scrimmage, makes a decision to run, then pulls up, makes a bad decision to throw the football into trouble. The ball is flicked up into the air, and Andy Collis, number 46, right there, almost made a big catch. It would have been a big play. Turnovers have hurt Springfield all year this year.
He surprised me when he threw that one. They call him Cowboy. He's adventuresome. Jim Collis, number 15. This is third down and 3 from their own 43. Now Collis, he throws with his left hand, and it is incomplete, overthrown. Kevin McKinnon, number 48. Crowd reacting. Mike Chaput, number 22, right there. The defensive safety who was covering until we get a call.
All right, here we see Collis rolling to his left. He's going to be looking for Kevin Kenyon. And Mike Chaput comes off a little bit in front of Kenyon, but he makes contact with him. Official throws his flag. Interference, first down for Springfield.
The referee in the game today is Robert O'Donnell. Pass interference, that means 1st and 10. And so Springfield College trailing 3-0, 1st and 10 on the 40-yard line of American International. They flank John Vella. Collis pitching to Norm England. England, number 32, the tailback, is fighting for yardage. He gets about 8. He's down near the 31-yard line. At the 31, it is Rich Penny, the linebacker, number 90, who provides the defensive hit. This looks like a very determined Springfield College football team, stung by a field goal in the early minutes. They're using Kevin Kenyon and John Vella as a split end to bring the plays in from youthful head coach Howard Vandersea, who's now in his 4th year. And this will be, they're going to measure here, Paul, to see whether he got the full 10.
Well, I can't see from here. I'm not one of these guys who likes to call it from up here, but the way they're moving that football, they're going to get the first down.
And while they're measuring it out, this program is being brought to you as an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Now let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
WHYN-TV, Channel 40, Springfield.
Bob Murphy and Parle Warfield for ABC. We're here at Benedum Field in Springfield. 10 minutes to play in the first quarter. They measured it out and they missed by the length of a thimble, I believe. So it'll be a 2nd down and 1.5 inches or so to go. And for the Chiefs of Springfield College, Jim Collis is the quarterback with Dave Godin, Norm England, Bob Oraz, number 23 is the flanker back. And they'll go from the eye. The quarterback, Collis, keeps it for a first down. Jim Collis, the quarterback, keeping the ball, and he has a first down.
Well, as you said, he only needed a thimble's worth, and he got more than that on that straight buck ahead. As we said at the top of the program, this guy really likes to snake the ball through the line himself, running the football, and he's quite a football player, running that option play very well.
And in a national headliner just underway today, the Arkansas Razorbacks lead Bill Yeoman's Houston Cougars 3-0 in the first quarter. Now 1st and 10 for Springfield College. Oraz, number 23, is the flanker. Godin and England, and now England comes in motion. Jim Collis wants to throw. The left-hander has protection, and he throws incomplete. He intended the ball for John Cherry, number 86, the tight end. But it was over the reach of a very tall tight end, John Cherry.
Well, he sent John Cherry breaking from more or less left to right down the middle of the field. But then Collis threw the ball over to the opposite shoulder, and Cherry had to turn his body completely around. He just could not make the adjustment on the ball. He was open for the 6 points, though.
Wide receivers to the right, Cherry, the tight end, and Oraz, the flanker back. They run again from the eye. England is the tailback. This is 2nd down and 10. And England, number 32, on a trap right through the middle. May go for a score. Down to the 9-yard line. Norm England hit down by Mike Chaput, number 22, the junior safety from North Andover, Massachusetts. But it is a beauty by Norm England, the tailback, number 32.
Norm England, a real go-getter. He's been running that trap right up the middle, making big yardage. That time he cut back nicely behind some blocking and found himself some extra yardage. That's Mike Phillips, number 53 that you're looking at, who didn't quite come up with the tackle. Norm England showing some swivel hips movement.
Now Collis is keeping the ball, pitching to England, and England is upended. He'll lose about a yard across the way, and Bob Poirier, number 30, who plays that right corner, he's only a sophomore out of Providence. He shows that he can hit hard.
Well, that time Bob Poirier came across the line of scrimmage, played the play very well, took on the blocker and stripped the blocker, got to the ball carrier, who was England, stopped him cold.
The game is being played on super turf here at Benedum Field, and it is a marvelous surface to play the game on. Kevin Kenyon, the wide receiver, to the right, and John Cherry, the tight end, split wide to the left. This is 2nd down and goal. Jim Collis is the quarterback. Collis rolls out, and on the sprint out throws, and it is complete to Tony Cicero, number 31. And Cicero is right at the goal line, but he's not over. Mike Chaput again made the tackle. Tony Cicero, who just came in. Cicero, by the way, had 91 yards against Central Connecticut, and now they're right at the goal line.
Collis comes out, rolls, throws to Cicero, who comes out of the backfield as a receiver, and he is really stopped right at there at the goal line by Chaput and also Kevin Pina.
England, the tailback, trying to hurdle, and he's over. Norm England, number 32, the tailback, and he has just scored his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. And that was a beautiful drive, a 74-yard drive by Springfield College. They'll have Jim Oliver, number 16, coming on the field to try to add the point after touchdown. A 74-yard drive for Springfield College. Smooth drive with rushing and passing. England gets the touchdown from inches out. Pass to Tony Cicero set it up. Now Jim Oliver's kick is on the way, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. And so Springfield College has taken a 7-3 lead with 7:42 to play in the first quarter, and we really have a good one going. We'll be back in just a moment. Now it will be Springfield with Jim Oliver kicking off, and deep to receive will be Bob Bramble. Coming up next on NCAA college football, following our game here today in the Prudential scoreboard, Florida State, ranked number 7 in the nation, playing at Louisiana State University. And the Bayou Tigers are ranked number 17 over most of these ABC stations. A big afternoon of football for you, college football on ABC. Here's the kick by Jim Oliver, ground ball. It'll be fielded at about the 16-yard line by Bill Burt, number 43, and Burt hurries the ball back, and we'll see where they're going to spot it across the way. But the field position, Paul Warfield, will not be bad at all.
Not bad field position, starting the ball out right around the 34-yard line, and that's going to give American International University plenty of operating space to get their wing T offense going.
So the Yellow Jackets with Brian McLean as the quarterback. Keep an eye out for Bob Bramble, number 24. This is Bramble getting the handoff and carrying the ball on a counter, going the other way, and he'll gain 3 and maybe about 4 yards. Across the way, he's being picked up. There's number 90. Rushing in the football game. He had 42 of the 74 yards in that very successful scoring drive by Springfield. It is 7-3 Springfield, American International in the white. It is 2nd down and 6. Again, it will be Bramble, number 24, and this time they solved the problem in a hurry. He is dropped at the 39-yard line. Doug McKinney, number 60, backing the line for Springfield College. It'll be 3rd down coming up. There's Doug McKinney, number 60. He is a good one. A junior from Dover, New Hampshire. Brian McLean, the American International quarterback, is a sophomore from Hamden, Connecticut. Bob Bramble is from Brooklyn. He's the man who gained over 300 against Amherst. And McLean will throw. And he got it to the tight end, Gary Wright. Gary Wright, the tight end, down to the 30, to the 29-yard line. Wright has been the number 1 receiver for American International. 6'4" at 235 pounds, and they break a good one.
Well, he's the guy that they look for. That was a very fine pass play that time. Brian McLean set up right, turned back through left to Gary Wright, and then let the big fellow do it himself, and he makes a big gainer.
They gain 31 yards, and they have a 1st down on the 29. We're watching Bramble go in motion, and the counter will have Burke, number 43, as the ball carrier. He'll gain about 2 yards and is pinned at that point. The principal tackler being Brad Masurgeon, number 72, and Lars Hauk, number 80, as the defensive end. So it is 2nd down, 9 yards to go. Make the gain just 1 yard. That was Brad Masurgeon, 240-pound senior from Poughkeepsie, New York. Big 31-yard pass play to the tight end, moving the ball for American International. This time they will give the ball off to Mark Strange, the fullback. Strange across the 25 to the 24-yard line. Tony Bostic, number 34, has come into the backfield offensively now for American International. And Bill Burke is checking back in, and Bostic will go right out. He was in for only 1 play.
Okay, that's number 72 in red, Brad Masurgeon, being double-teamed and moved out of there on that play. He's a tough customer, and so sometimes it takes 2-3 men to move him out of there.
This is 3rd down and 5 to go. Bramble is in motion, and McLean will throw to Bill Burke, number 43, across the 10, down to about the 6-yard line. Bill Burke on the receiving end. Tony Paoletti makes the tackle, and here's a team suddenly moving very efficiently in the air, Paul Warfield.
Well, we said that Brian McLean has come into his own his last 2 or 3 ball games, starting to move this ball club very well. He's shown that he can move the club down the field, utilizing the run, and then calling the proper pass play at the right time, and that time was a fine choice.
The wide receivers are Jim Ballas and Bill Burke. This is first down and 6 yards and goal to go. And Mark Strange, the fullback, is close to the goal line. Strange, the senior fullback, he's a 230-pounder, and he gets it very close to the goal line. Second down and 2 yards and goal to go. The Yellow Jackets of American International trailing 7-3, and now they are trying to regain the lead. Bramble is in the slot. Ballas is a wide receiver. And we keep an eye here. Strange, the fullback. No, sir. The middle of the line defensively rising to the occasion. Brian Howler is the middle guard, and Mark Harriman, number 51, the linebacker, who came plowing in there to help out, as Magazoo, number 85, went in under on a submarine.
That's right, Bob. Great defensive play right there from the right side of that line. Number 85, David Magazoo, who just piled up things there. Didn't give them the line of scrimmage, and so American International College is now trying it again.
Third down, 1 yard and goal to go. Bill Burke, number 43, is over the goal line. Bill Burke, 210 pounds halfback, takes it in for the score. 9-7 now in favor of American International, and that was a very smooth 65-yard drive.
Well, it's an off-tackle play, good blocking at the point of attack, and Bill Burke, strong inside runner, just plowed across the goal line to give American International College 6 points.
Well, what an explosive first quarter. Last year they played a 41-27 game, and now trying for the 10th point for American International will be Jim Ballas. The holder is the quarterback, Brian McLean, and the kick by Jim Ballas. It is perfect. Jim Ballas gets the point after. And so, with 3:27 to play in the first quarter here at Benetton Field, we have a 10-7 game. Back in a moment. There's the score, 10-7, American International. Still 3:27 to play in the first quarter. This game is as advertised. It has had so much to offer in the opening quarter. Jim Ballas has booted a field goal to 35 yards and a point after. There is Frank Manello, number 35. And in Division II of college football, he leads the nation in kickoff returns with an average of 31. You can bet they'll be trying with this man, Jim Ballas, to steer the ball away from Frank Manello. Let's watch it. Dave Godin is number 22. Godin to the 25, Godin to the 30. And Godin is pulled to the super turf on the 30-yard line. Tony Paoletti or rather Andy Cohen, number 46, made the tackle. And so now for Springfield from their own 30-yard line, it is 1st and 10, and they will attack from the I. On the receiving end, Norm England, who gained 42 yards of that 74-yard drive, and England is chased out of bounds across the 35 at about the 37-yard line. Next Monday night on ABC's Monday Night Football, the Seattle Seahawks with Jim Zorn moving into Atlanta, Georgia to play the Atlanta Falcons. It should be a good one. Atlanta led by Steve Bartkowski, who took his team to the playoffs last year. That's next Monday night on all of these ABC stations. Penalty flags are all over. Handling the ball is Jim Collis. Collis, the quarterback, past midfield to the 45 and to the 44-yard line. Bob Poirier makes the tackle. It will come back. The penalty will be against Springfield, and the long gain will be nullified.
Well, it really came at a bad time, Bob, because Jim Collis really spun around and ran that option play magnificently, cutting back, finding an open spot, and looked like he was going off to the races.
So the play comes back in a 5-yard penalty assessed against Springfield. And so the ball is on the 32-yard line, and it will be 2nd down and 8 yards to go for Springfield. 2nd down and 8. Tony Cicero is in as fullback, and Norm England is the fullback. They are right behind the quarterback, Collis, in the I formation. This is England, number 32, and really swarm tackling led by Todd Lyon, number 79, and Mike Phillips, number 53, the captain. Bill Remza, the nose guard, also getting up. Number 53, Mike Phillips, the 6'3", 235-pound defensive captain from Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Third down for Springfield, trailing at 10-7, third down and 6 yards to go. Now England shifts over onto the wing. Now England goes in motion. Jim Collis, the left-handed passer, will throw it. And he does. It is completed to his tight end, John Cherry, number 86. Big John Cherry makes his second catch here in the first quarter. He's the leading pass catcher.
Well, we're seeing two fine tight ends on the football field. This time, Jim Collis drops straight back, looks for John Cherry all the way, throws into a little bit of traffic, but a fine catch. Good concentration by John Cherry, who is immediately racked after he catches the ball. First down.
Gain of 18 yards. First and 10 from midfield. Collis this time running with it. And he gets very little, about a yard. Corralled and taken out of bounds. Ernie General is number 16, the sophomore safety. Also helping Kevin Pena, number 20, the left cornerback. And Joe Schroeper. By the way, Todd Sekurka, the defensive right end of American International, wearing number 54, good football player. His dad, Fred Sekurka, is the veteran defensive line coach at American International. We're sorry he cannot be at the game today. He's recovering from pneumonia. This is second down and 8, Springfield. Bob Oraz, number 23, the flanker back, is wide to the right. The quarterback is Jim Collis. The attack is the I. Collis still has the ball. Now laterals to Norm England, and England, after taking the pitch, is out of bounds on the 44-yard line, and it was Kevin Pena, number 20, the left cornerback, who ran him out of bounds, short of a first and 10.
Well, England has been a very busy young man taking that pitch off that option, but he's made a lot of yardage into the near sideline, which he ran the last play, and he's making a lot of yardage seemingly all over the football field.
He's carried 9 times now, Paul, and he has about 57 yards, and we are still in the first quarter, so he could have a sensational day here this afternoon. This is 3rd and 3 on the 43-yard line of American International. Bob Oraz, number 23, is in motion, and we're watching Jim Collis, the quarterback, Tony Cicero, number 31, the fullback, and he's down on the 34-yard line. Tony Cicero knocked down by linebacker Mike Phillips. I'm surprised. They're both billed as running teams, and they're both throwing well.
Well, you have to do what you have to do to win football games, and seemingly both teams are mixing it up, keeping the other team off balance. Tony Cicero, that time, coming out of the backfield for his second reception of the day. If people are going to ignore him, then Springfield is going to take advantage.
Jim Collis, the quarterback, has running room. He'll get a first down across the 25 and all the way down to the 22. Jim Collis running the length of the chain, hit by Mike Chaput on defense, number 22, the safety. And Springfield now with another excellent drive. They had a 74-yard drive that led to a score. They started this drive back on their own 30-yard line. They've come 20 yards upfield and another 28 yards downfield since getting possession. The wide receiver, Kevin Kenyon, number 48. Collis to Norm England, number 32, and England will get just a little bit this time, getting to about the 20-yard line. Getting up is Todd Lyon, number 79, and Bob Poirier, number 30, the right cornerback, a sophomore from Providence.
That time, American International College defended that option play very well. They had inside support and also support coming up from the defensive secondary positions, and they stopped the running play.
36 seconds to play in the first quarter. 10-7, American International leads by 3. Springfield College 2nd and 10, down on the 21-yard line. Oraz is coming in motion. He's 23. Jim Collis, the quarterback, is in trouble. Knocks his arm, and he throws it out of bounds. He threw it in the direction of the flanker back, Bob Oraz, O-R-A-S-Z. There's Jim Collis.
Jim Collis, Mr. Excitement. Seemingly every time he gets his hands on the football, something is going to happen one way or another. That time, he was looking for his wide receiver, but he was covered, didn't get a chance to throw it to him, but did the smart thing. He threw the ball away.
So this is 3rd and 10. The ball is on about the 21.5-yard line. Springfield relies on Jim Oliver to kick the field goals. This time they have Kevin Kenyon as a wide receiver, and this is 3rd and long. It is 3rd and 10. Jim Collis setting up. The heat is on. Throws a little screen to Tony Cicero, number 31, and they get nothing. Just back to the line of scrimmage. There is Bob Burt, the head coach of American International College. So it is 4th down. The ball at the line of scrimmage is the 20-yard line, and time has run out in the first quarter. It was a well-played first quarter. The score at the end of one, 10-7, American International, and we'll be right back. 37-year-old Howard Vandersea, the coach of Springfield, he's calling on Jim Oliver to try a field goal of 37 yards. The kick will be partially blocked and will go into the end zone. So Jim Oliver trying to boot one of 37 yards. Somebody had a hand on it. It was John Rollins, a freshman, who got the hand on it. In the first quarter, the Michigan Wolverines lead the Indiana Hoosiers 7-0. And Arkansas leads Houston 3-0 first quarter.
That's number 62. John Rollins, who's coming in from the left portion of your screen, who got a piece of that kick, causing it to sail off to the left.
So American International leading 10-7. We're in the first minute of the second quarter. The quarterback is Brian McLean, his principal running back. This will be Bill Burt, 43, running off the wing as he comes across the 20. The gain is short. He'll get just 1 yard. Bill Burt, number 43, tackled by Doug McKinney, who ducked in under to get him. McKinney, number 60, fine linebacker, a junior from Dover. By the way, Brian McLean is 2 for 2 in passing, and those passes have covered 48 yards. Leading ball carrier is Norm England of Springfield. He has 57 yards on 10 carries. This is 2nd down and 8. Bramble comes in motion, and McLean now straightens up to throw to Jim Vallis, incomplete. Vallis, who was a defensive back until just 1 week ago, almost was able to gather that one in and slithered away.
Jim Vallis, who was moved from defensive back to wide receiver principally because of his good hands that time. Well, Brian McLean, rifle went right into his hands. Maybe it was a bad spot, but he didn't come up with the catch.
So it's 3rd and long, 3rd and 8 now for the Yellow Jackets of American International. They lead 10-7. We're early in the second quarter here at Benetton Field in Springfield. It is the Mayor's Trophy game. And we'll watch McLean on a draw to Mark Strange, the fullback, 23, gaining ground over the 30 and out to the 32-yard line. That'll be a first down and a big call, a draw play to the fullback, Mark Strange.
Fine call by Brian McLean on the draw play to Mark Strange. He caught the Springfield defense sort of napping, looking back for the pass play. The draw play worked to perfection. They still have control of the football and moving it downfield.
1st and 10 from their own 33. Jim Vallis is the wide receiver. The quarterback is a sophomore, Brian McLean. Bill Burt, 43, goes in motion. Penalty flags are thrown, and we'll wait for the call. Motion will go against American International. The referee this afternoon is Robert O'Donnell in the white hat. Skies are overcast, no threat of any precipitation. Mr. Warfield, I guess this is a typical New England day for this time of the year. It was cold last night, down in the 20s, probably low 40s here in the football game.
Well, it's great football weather if you're a football player. You know, I spent most of my career as an amateur and professional down on the field, and these days felt great when you're playing, but when you're standing around, well, it feels just a little bit cool.
But a perfect day to play the ball game. It couldn't be better. So 1st down and 15. We're watching Burt, number 43, as he goes in motion. And now a pass intended for Vallis, completed. Jim Vallis, number 15 to the 50. Jim Vallis at the 45 and down on the 44-yard line. Jack Quinn, the captain, number 90, finally makes the corral with the help from Frank Manello, number 35. And so far, the passing game of Brian McLean is a big story in this football game. These two teams, number 4 and number 5 in the nation in rushing. Neither team noted for its passing, but as Paul Warfield says, you take what's there, and they're taking it.
They certainly are. Fine reception by Jim Vallis, who dropped one just a couple of plays earlier, and his team is on the move again.
1st and 10 on the 44 of Springfield. Burt is the man in motion. Mark Strange, 23, the fullback, into the secondary. He's over the 40 and down to the 37. And again, the man we talked about in the pregame show, Jack Quinn, the captain, number 90, and number 89, Tom Wisnowski, the defensive right end.
Well, just good running by Mark Strange. He started out to his right, cut back behind some good blocking, cutting back across the grain from right to left, and picking up some good yardage on that inside game to make the outside game just as effective when you've got a good fullback who can run inside.
He gained 8 yards, so it's second down and 2 yards to go. Bill Burke, number 43 on a counter, probably has the first down. It will be close, however. Brian Howler, the middle guard, number 71, went in under. And we'll see if they're going to move this forward enough for the first down. Apparently, not quite. Third down and less than a yard to go. Mark Strange, the big fullback for American International, on 7 carries, averaging almost 5 yards a rush. He has 34 yards. You might look for him right here. He's number 23, sitting right behind the quarterback, Brian McLean. No, quarterback sneak. Brian McLean, I believe, has the first down.
Well, we've seen both quarterbacks call their own number in short yardage situations. And that time it was Brian McLean, who doesn't run a lot, but in that instance, he picked up the necessary yardage.
Norm Gallagher, the offensive right guard and captain, and Ed Rickus doing a good blocking job.
That's right. We're isolated right there on Haller, and you can see as they blew him right out of there and got the extra yardage.
First and 10 on the 33-yard line. It's American International moving. Bramble comes in motion, and it's Burke, number 43, on the counter over the 30 and to the 21. Bill Burke, number 43, the junior halfback out of Westfield, Massachusetts. Ball spotted on the 29-yard line.
American International U has the perfect balance in their backfield. They've got Berg, who can pick up the tough off-tackle inside yardage. They also have Bramble. That's Coach Bob Burke right there, looking at his team, moving the football.
Second down and 5. Bill Burke will go in motion. They give to Burke. Burke trying to go for a first down. He probably has it. He passed the 25 and went down on the 24-yard line. So Bill Burke doing a lot of hard running. We have seen 3 outstanding drives already in the game. A 74-yard drive, a 65-yard drive, and this drive by American International started on their own 20-yard line, and now they're down on the 24-yard line. Rhode Island and the Boston University Terriers, no score in the first quarter. This is third down, less than a yard to go for the Yellow Jackets. Bramble comes in motion, and it will be Strange, the fullback, for a first down, hitting down to the 15-yard line. And again, it's up to Jack Quinn, number 90, to stop the big fullback who tips in at 230 pounds.
All right, here's a look from the option. Straight handoff right there to Strange, who bucks right inside of guard and tackle. He's been making the inside run go. They come back with Burke off tackle on the outside, and then when they want to go to the far outside, of course, they look for Bramble.
Jim Vallis, the wide receiver. Now it's first and 10 down on the Chiefs' 15-yard line. And we're watching Brian McLean throw to the end zone. Vallis! Did he hold it in time? I don't think so.
Well, it's just too bad because that was a super catch by Vallis. He just could not quite get his feet in balance. Here's Brian McLean faking a handoff to Bramble. He's looking that far right corner, throws. There's Jim Vallis. Watch him go up in the air now. One-handed catch. Super catch right there. He just could not get the 1 foot inbounds right there. That's right over the edge line.
He looked a lot like Paul Warfield on that play to me.
Looked a lot better than Paul Warfield on that play.
Second and 10, the ball on the 15-yard line. 10-7, American International leading. And Mark Strange, number 23, the big fullback. Doug McKinney is number 60, backing the line. And Brad Culkin, number 34, plays the defensive safety. He is a junior. So a gain of a yard. And now here's a big one, third down and 9 in this long drive that started for the Yellow Jackets back on their own 20-yard line after a blocked field goal. Houston going ahead of Arkansas, 7-3 in the second quarter. The game being played in Arkansas. This is third down and long. McLean is throwing for Bramble. It is incomplete. He threw between Bramble and Jim Vallis. Bramble is 24, and there he is, Bob Bramble. What a great one. And Jim Vallis. And it'll be fourth down. Let's see what develops.
Brian McLean on that last play may have pulled the trigger just a little bit too soon. Bob Bramble was just executing his sideline pattern, had not turned his head around. Coach Bob Burke right there, looking on right now, trying to make a decision what he's going to do. It looks like he's going to kick.
Jim Vallis putting on his kicking shoe. The quarterback, Brian McLean, is the holder, and he will be holding at the 21-yard line, a 31-yard field goal attempt. Here's the boot by Vallis. It is high enough, and we're waiting. It is good. Jim Vallis putting his second field goal of the ball game with 8:49 to play in the first half. American International now in front 13-7. We're coming right back. Jim Vallis has now kicked field goals of 35 and 31. Bill Burke scored from a yard out after a 65-yard drive, and the score as we look at Frank Manello, number 35, 13-7, American International, 8:49 to play in the first half. And now Jim Vallis will be kicking off for American International. Vallis is number 15. He now has kicked 6 out of 8 in field goal tries this year. Manello will be hoping to get his hands on it. He does from the 20-yard line. Frank Manello, number 35, back to the 30-yard line. And a very good tackle made across the way at the 30-yard line. So now for the Chiefs, it'll be 1st and 10 on their own 29.5-yard line. Paul Warfield, this game has been a beauty so far.
It really has. A lot of offense on both sides. Both teams able to move the football, and it's a lot of excitement ahead for us.
Now Jim Collis is the quarterback. Bob O'Raz, number 23, comes in motion. Fumble, but he grabs it. Collis hangs on to it and will be downed, and he actually gains a couple of yards, getting to the 32-yard line. Jim Collis getting to the 32 and brought down at that point by Joe Schroeper, number 48. Joe Schroeper plays the defensive left end. So it is 2nd down and 8 yards to go for the Chiefs. The wide receiver is John Vella. He's a sophomore who alternates with Kevin Kenyon. So on 2nd down and 8. Tony Cicero is the fullback. Norm England is the tailback. Collis tries to pitch the ball, fumble, and it is taken over by Springfield right at that point. You cannot run the ball. It'll be picked up, I believe, by Andy Cohen or Ernie General. It's Andy Cohen, number 46, as we check it out on the replay.
On the reverse option again, it looks pretty good from here, but Jim Collis makes a bad pitch, blind pitch, that can't be handled by England. And Andy Cohen is Johnny on the spot right there, picks it up like a good second baseman, only he wanted to go with it.
Andy is a sophomore out of Randolph, Massachusetts. And now on the 35-yard line, 1st and 10 for American International. They're leading 13-7. Bill Burke is the man who goes in motion. And Brian McLean to Bob Bramble, number 24. Here comes Bramble. Oh, a beautiful tackle by Jack Quinn. No wonder he's an All-American. Number 90, Jack Quinn, the safety. And what a sure-handed tackler.
Well, no doubt about it. Jack Quinn had to make that tackle on number 24, Bob Bramble, because Bramble's the guy with the 4.4 speed and one step outside, and you know he can go all the way. So it was a fine tackle that was made by Quinn, perhaps maybe a touchdown-saving tackle.
Bramble is number 8 in the nation in Division II in rushing. Came into the game with 584 yards. Jim Vallis is the wide receiver. That play lost a yard. 2nd down and 11 yards to go. Brian McLean faking the screens. He will throw for Bob Bramble, number 24, incomplete. Off the fingertips of Bob Bramble.
Well, Bob Bramble had a little bit of running room if he could have come up with the catch on that quick flip to the outside by quarterback Ryan McLean.
On 3rd and long, we'll be looking for Brian McLean to throw. He has 3 of 7 for 77 yards. So those 3 that have been completed have covered an awful lot of ground for the Yellow Jackets of Coach Bob Burke. Bob Burke, just 35 years old. He played football at the University of Massachusetts. His teams are 20, 12, and 2 in 3.5 years. This is 3rd and 11. Here's McLean. Draw play to Mark Strange, the fullback, and Strange is tripped up by Tom Wisnowski. Wisnowski, number 89, a junior right end from Middlebury, Vermont. 4th down coming up.
That time, Springfield was not at all fooled by that draw play. Wisnowski standing his ground, reading it perfectly, and making the tackle.
Rick Theriault is in. This will be the first punt of the ball game. They don't punt. Mark Strange, the fullback, and they do not fool anybody. The ball goes over to Springfield. They fake the punt. Mark Strange, the fullback, carried the ball, and Jack Quinn, the captain of Springfield, the All-American, made a very big play, and the ball turns over. 6:41 to play in the first half. 13-7 American International, and we're coming right back.
Hey, you want to meet a guy who's really in deep water?
13-7 American International. Jack Quinn made the big play. First and 10 Springfield, their own 34. Bob Raz in motion, and Jim Collis throws. It is completed, but what a defensive hit by Mike Phillips, the captain, number 53, on Tony Cicero.
Well, we told you that Mike Phillips, number 53, is very good at pass defense. So watch him as he hits Tony Cicero right there. He really breaks on the ball, read the play perfectly from his pass coverage position, and nailed the ball carrier.
Second down and 6. Cicero, number 31, the fullback, immediately behind the quarterback, Jim Collis. And Collis, the lefty, will throw for England, number 32. I believe he was out of bounds. England was out of bounds. It is incomplete. Time remaining in the first half, 6 minutes. Well played first half of football, and this the Mayor's Trophy game at Benetton Field in Springfield. Norm England, by the way, 57 yards on 10 rushes. He is the leading ball carrier so far this afternoon. Number 53 is Mike Phillips. He is the captain on defense, and he barks the defensive signals. And this is third down and 5 for Springfield. Raz is number 23, the flanker, moving in motion. And England cannot fool anybody this time. They couldn't push him out of the way. And we'll watch Todd Lyon, number 79, get up from the bottom of the play. So it will be fourth down, and for the first time, Springfield will be punting. Next Friday night on ABC, the Battle of the Network Stars at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Your favorite stars from ABC, NBC, and CBS in a riotous athletic competition. We'll be telling you more about it a little later. It is a marvelous show. Here is the kick by Tony Green, one of the biggest punters in college football. Bob Bramble fumbles, and a dive and a loose ball. Who's going to cover? We're watching as they uncover. Bramble had the ball thrown away. It's Springfield. Springfield recovered the football. I believe Tony Perry, number 84. Keep your eye here on number 84, Tony Perry.
Bob Bramble did not come up with that catch. Now he's trying to recover the football. Number 84 gets right in there and makes the recovery.
So Tony Perry recovers a big one. Springfield with a great chance right now. They have the ball with the first down. We'll be coming back in just a moment. First and 10, Springfield on the 19-yard line. Cicero, the ball carrier, number 31. Hitting straight in, maybe about 2 yards. And Springfield gets a great opportunity on a fumble recovery by Perry after the ball was fumbled by Bob Bramble on the punt. And it was the first punt of the day by Springfield. It is the only punt here in the first half of the football game. There's Howard Vandersea. Second down and 6. Jim Collis, the quarterback, running with it and stopped short of the 10 on about the 11-yard line. He was stopped by Mike Chaput, number 22, the junior safety from North Andover. Third down coming up. Arkansas now leading Houston 10-7 in the second quarter. The unbeaten Razorbacks against the unbeaten Houston Cougars, 10-7 second quarter, with a big game in the Southwest Conference. Third down and that much. Third and 2. Cicero is the fullback, 31, sitting right behind the quarterback. Norm England is the tailback. Bob Raz comes in motion. This is third down and 2. Collis, a loose ball and an attempted reverse, and it is recovered by Bill Remsen, number 52. It was knocked loose by Todd Lyon, number 79. 52, Bill Remsen comes up with it, Paul Warfield.
Well, a little bit of razzle-dazzle here, but it doesn't quite work. As number 79, Todd Lyon, jars the ball loose just as quarterback Jim Collis is going to attempt to make a pitch. And number 52, Bill Remsen, really hustles and gets there for the recovery.
And so the turnover gives the ball back to American International, and we'll be returning to pick up the action in just a moment. And after the turnover, first and 10 for American International from their own 23. They lead 13-7 as Bill Burt goes in motion. The ball given to Bill Burt, number 43. Burt doing well. It comes over the 30, all the way to the the 35 and out to the 36. A gain of 13 yards by Bill Burke, the junior halfback out of Westfield. And you know, Paul Warfield, all season long, the turnover did not bother Springfield much until suddenly, the last 2 weeks, a bugaboo.
Well, Springfield, the turnovers are going to catch up with the team, and Springfield has just had too many on the season. They've had 3 already here today, and it's hurt their chances to maintain possession and perhaps even score.
37 yards on 9 carries for Bill Burke, and now for American International, it is 1st and 10. Bramble, number 24. Bramble out to the 39-yard line. Gain of 3.5. Tom Wisnowski, number 89, gets up after doing defensive work along with Brad Culkin. Culkin, number 34. In the second quarter, North Carolina State leading Clemson 6-3. And the Tar Heels of North Carolina lead East Carolina 14-3 in the second quarter. By the way, Bob Bramble has been held to 5 yards on 9 carries so far. They must be concentrating on Bramble, and the other people are doing well. It is 2nd down and 6. Only 3 minutes left to play now in the first half. It has been a good one. Mark Strange, 23, the big fullback. He's 230 pounds. Frank Manello is number 35. He had a hand on the tackle, and so did Doug McKinney, number 60, the inside linebacker.
Well, as you said, Bob, they have shut down Bob Bramble pretty good. At least that's what Springfield has done. But Mark Strange and Bill Burke are ripping them up for big yardage every time they carry the football. 5 and 6 yards a crack at times. And that's what's keeping this offense of American International College moving up and down the field.
There's the name of the game, the football on the Super Turf here at Benetton Field. It's a beautiful playing surface. This is 3rd down and 2 yards to go. Brian McLean has run his team beautifully. Bramble, number 24, 1st down and more. Bramble is still running. Oh, he almost broke it. Went over the 40-yard line, and Brad Culkin, number 34, the safety, saved a touchdown. Brad Culkin gets him at the last moment.
Quick flip to Bramble, and he's out there, number 73 out there ahead of him, carrying it for him, and Bramble showing the great speed going down the sidelines. He's a threat to go all the way, although he's been held to short yardage. Just one play like that, and he can pop it wide open.
1st and 10 on the 36-yard line. Brad Culkin saves 6 points with that defensive play. They're racing the clock now with 2:15 to play in the first half. Bill Burke is the man in motion. Mark Strange, the fullback, number 23, plowing in the middle, getting about 30 yards. And we'll watch Doug McKinney, number 60, the hard-working linebacker, along with Dave Magazoo, who were there to handle the defensive chores. 1:57 remaining in the first half of the football game, 13-7. American International has the lead. They drove for 1 touchdown, and they kicked 2 field goals. Now on this play, which is 2nd down and 5. Brian McLean with his team down on the 31-yard line of Springfield. And McLean to Bill Burke, 43. Burke following his blocking. He's to the 20. Burke fights to the 15. Bill Burke will score. Bill Burke will score. He scores from 31 yards out. He followed his blocking beautifully. American International has gone on top, 19-7. Well, they raced the clock, and they did it. It is the 2nd touchdown in the game for Bill Burke as we watch him go again. Now watch Burke right here as he puts his hand on Tom Brubaker, the left guard, number 58, follows him, goes around him, and goes 31-yard touchdown. And so it is 19-7. And now Jim Vallis will try the point after touchdown. And Brian McLean will hold. The kick is up. And the kick is good. By the way, Brian McLean has not missed all year. He now has 16 out of 16. And the score is 20-7 in favor of the Yellow Jackets of American International. 1:26 left to play in the first half of the ball game. They drove 77 yards to get the touchdown. So they have had a 65-yard drive, a 77-yard drive, 2 field goals by Jim Vallis, and 2 point-after touchdowns by Jim Vallis, and it's 20-7. By the way, Bill Burke, the wingback, now has 68 yards in 10 carries, and he has become the leading rusher in the ballgame. And so with 1:26 to play in the first half, Jim Vallis now will be kicking off for American International. There is Frank Manello. Manello, number 35, hasn't been able to turn one loose yet here today. But bear in mind, he leads the nation in kickoff returns with an average of 31 yards per return. What a swift drive that was by American International. They literally swept the 77 yards. With Bill Burke going the last 31, now the kick by Jim Vallis. He kicks another ground ball that is slithering around loose. Dave Godin, number 22, up with it across the 30, and Godin will get out to about the 33-yard line. Dave Godin, number 22, back to the 33. And from there, Springfield will contest the clock and the opposition. This game rated as an absolute toss-up. It has been a very exciting and entertaining first half of football. So now it is 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line for Springfield. Jim Collis pitching back to Norm England, and England is being pushed out of bounds. Pushed out of bounds by Joe Schroper, number 48, the defensive left end, a senior from Howell, New Jersey. Coming up at halftime, a story that we all have been following across the country, the controversy swirling around Frank Kush at Arizona State. At halftime, we'll have a very special feature telling you a lot more about that story. So stay with us at halftime. We're approaching it now. And also, that will be our Fireman's Fun. Norm England hitting straight ahead, and England will get only about a yard. So we're nearing halftime, 1:07 left to play. Todd Lyon made the last tackle, and it's 3rd and long coming up for Springfield. Kevin Kenyon, number 48, wide receiver, brings the play in from Coach Howard Vandesee. He has been alternating with John Vella as the tight end, and now he will work as a wide receiver as we look at Jim Collis, the man they call Cowboy. This is 3rd down and long, and Bravo Raz is the man in motion. This is Jim Collis. Now pitching to Norm England. England, number 32, does well, but is hit and spun over at the 45-yard line. It was Kevin Pena, number 20, who made the hit, and I believe England felt that one a great deal. So Norm England, number 32, the outstanding tailback for Springfield College, a little slow in getting up. It is a 1st and 10, and keeps the drive going, and it was made on 3rd and very long. North Carolina now leading East Carolina 14-3 in the second quarter. North Carolina State, the Wolfpack, leading Clemson 6-3 in the second quarter. The Georgia Bulldogs lead Kentucky 7-0 in the first quarter. And it's Tulsa 3, Florida 0 in the first quarter. Boston University 7, Rhode Island 0 in the second quarter. Bucknell 6 and Lehigh 0 in the first quarter. Norm England is number 32. He suffered a very hard and clean defensive hit by Kevin Pena, the cornerback, and has to come out of the ball game. In the backfield now, Norm England has to come out. Tony Cicero is the fullback, and Dave Godin, number 22, is the tailback. 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Springfield trailing 20-7 in the last minute of the first half. Collis is hit. The ball is loose. It is fumbled. It is recovered by Springfield. What a defensive hit by Todd Sakurka, number 54, the right end. And the ball goes over to American International. Now watch this hit by Todd Sakurka, number 54. Here he comes from right end. Sakurka makes the hit, knocks the ball loose from Jim Collis, and it is recovered by Bill Remza, the nose guard, number 52. By the way, that's the second fumble that Bill Remza has recovered in the first half of the football game. Another turnover costing Springfield their 3rd turnover here in the first half. And now it's American International 1st and 10 on the 43-yard line. We'll have our Fireman's Fun coming up at halftime. And in our post-game show, the story on Frank Kush. A lot of things for you to enjoy during our halftime program. So with only 26 seconds to play in the first half and leading by a score of 20-7, AIC has the football. Brian McLean wants to score again. The throw is intended for Jim Vallis. Was it picked off? Jack Quinn, the captain, number 90. After the ball went off of the hands of Vallis, the intended receiver, there's Jack Quinn, and he has the football. Quinn, the captain, made the interception, and he makes it with a diving grab as we watch. Now watch it go off the hands of Jim Vallis right there, and Jack Quinn will grab it before it can hit the turf. And so the ball belongs to Springfield on their own 27-yard line, where it's first down and 10. Norm England, or rather Dave Godin, who replaced Norm England, gets only about a yard and a sit down, and time is running down in the first half of the ball game. Mike Phillips, the linebacker, number 53, made the tackle. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 20-7 in favor of American International, and time has run out in the first half of the football game. But it was a very entertaining first half of football. The game billed as absolutely even, and turnovers did have a measure in the first half of the football game, with 2 of the turnovers costing Springfield College. And it was Jim Vallis, who's an outstanding field goal kicker, who kicked a 35-yard field goal to get American International on the scoreboard. But then came a Springfield 74-yard scoring drive. Norm England scored, and Springfield led 7-3. We're at halftime now, and the score is 20-7 in favor of American International. Let's go to the sidelines and our colleague Paul Warfield.
Coach, things are looking pretty good for you going in at halftime right now. You had your running game going well, but you surprised us a little bit with your throwing.
Well, we're trying to throw the ball against Springfield because they're coming up tough on the corners against us. Trying to mix up our plays with the rushing game, and also trying to throw the play-action pass, and I think we've been pretty successful in the first half doing so.
With things going so well for you here at halftime, what are you going to tell your guys at half?
Well, we're going back out there in the ball game like it's 0-0 or like we're down by a touchdown. Springfield's the kind of club that'll come back on us, and we just got to keep a lot of pressure on them right through the second half of this ball game.
What are you going to have to do specifically to stop Springfield going in the second half?
Well, first half we didn't feel we did a good job playing the option. We're giving the quarterback Collis too much room when he comes around on the flank, and we've got to tighten up our defense a little bit against the option and try to box him in a little bit more.
You said in the first part of the year that your quarterback, McLean, had not been playing consistent football, but he's playing pretty consistent football out here today.
Well, we saw it last week up at Ithaca, too, and he's starting to do a real fine job. He understands what to do. He's maturing a little bit, and I hope he does as good a job in the second half of the ball game.
Well, Coach, good luck to you, and get them going for the second half.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, back up to you now, Bob.
All right, Paul, we're at halftime here at Benham Field in Springfield, Massachusetts. And the score at half, the Yellow Jackets of American International are in front by a score of 20-7. So we're at halftime. The score is 20-7, and we'll be coming right back in just a moment. We're at halftime here at Benham Field, Springfield, Massachusetts, the 35th meeting between Springfield College and American International. Springfield College, famous for so many things. It is the home of basketball. For it was right here where Professor Naismith, looking for a way to keep his football team active during the off-season, invented a game they call basketball. And the Basketball Hall of Fame is right here on the campus of Springfield College. It also, they claim, is an area where the man who was a professor at Springfield College also invented the game called volleyball. This game is played for the Mayor's Trophy, and there is the Basketball Hall of Fame. The Mayor's Trophy will be presented at the end of the game to the winner. And there is the Mayor's Trophy. The team that wins it will keep it for the following year, and it will be presented at the end of the football game by the longtime mayor of Springfield, Massachusetts, Mayor Theodore DeMauro. So this is such a rivalry. It is for the bragging rights. It is for just about everything you can think of when you think of a rivalry. So we are at halftime. It is American International 20 and Springfield College 7, and we pause now to let our local stations identify.
Saturday on the...
In addition, Benham Field, it also appears to be Banner Day, as many in the crowd have brought along their own banners. The Springfield College Chiefs, and the chief is here naturally to watch the football game against the Yellow Jackets of American International, with American International leading by a score of 20-7 at the half. By the way, Springfield College has been well known this season for its strong fourth quarter play, so we might very well have an outstanding second half of football. In the fourth quarter alone this year, Howard Vandersee's team has scored 60 points while allowing just 21. So American International putting on an outstanding show in the first half of the football game. You've enjoyed their football team. I'm sure you'll enjoy this footage looking at the campus. International leading Springfield College by a score of 20-7. A well-played first half, except it was marred by 3 turnovers. But nonetheless, both teams showing they had the ability to move the ball, and we're looking forward to a very exciting second half of football. 20-7, the halftime score. Jim Lampley got together with one of the most famous football coaches in the country, Paul Bear Bryant. So today's Fireman Fund Flashback is brought to you by Fireman's Fund Insurance. And Fireman's Fund Insurance is brought to you by an independent agent near you. Jim Lampley got together during the week to talk with a famous coach, Paul Bear Bryant of Alabama, and I think you'll enjoy what they had to say. And on our ABC coverage of today's game from Middleham Field in Springfield, Massachusetts, the halftime score, American International 20 and Springfield College 7. The American International Springfield College game is being brought to you by Chevrolet, who invite you to come see all the new 1980 Chevrolets at your Chevy dealers. By Kmart Automotive Service Centers, where quality car products are Kmart priced. And by IBM, helping putting information to work for people. Now, in just a very few moments, the teams will be coming back on the field for the second half of today's game. The score is 20-7 as get ready to kick off for the second half, and we'll be returning for the second half of today's game in just a moment. With the score 20-7 at the half in favor of American International, the stats tell the story. In total offense, American International 228 yards in the first half, Springfield 129. Rushing 151-89, American International. Passing 77-40, American International. And the leading rushers in the football game in the first half, Bill Burke 67 yards for American International, and Norm England had 66 yards for Springfield College. And that's the statistical story of the first half of the football game. Let's go to the sidelines and our analyst, Paul Warfield.
Howard, your team has moved the ball real well in the first half. It hasn't been that American has stopped you. It's been more that you stopped yourself.
Right. We just have to hold on to the ball this half, and our defense has to do a better job of stopping them. But we'll be back. We've got a 30 minutes more to go.
What did you tell your team at halftime?
Well, just what I said. We're going to continue to move the ball, keep on throwing as much as we have. On defense, we just have to be a little bit tougher.
Now that you're a little bit behind in this ball game, does that really necessarily mean that you're going to have to go away from your game plan, which has been a little bit more run, and go to the pass?
No, they haven't stopped us yet. We're just going to continue what we've been doing.
Still see a big victory, huh?
Oh, yeah. 30 minutes to go.
Good luck to you, Howard.
All right, thank you, Paul.
Okay, Bob, take it away.
All right, Paul Warfield, thank you. Those were the comments from Coach Howard Vandersee, 37 years old, his 4th year as the head coach here at Springfield. Both of these young coaches have compiled winning records. Both coaches are now in their 4th year at the helm. And we are listening in the background to the Springfield College alma mater. American International will be receiving as we look at young coach Bob Burke, 35-year-old head coach who has been bringing his team along very strong. They had an excellent year last season, winning 6, losing only 2, and tying 1. So as we start the second half, Springfield will be kicking the ball off. Jim Oliver does the kicking for the Chiefs of Springfield College. And as you would expect, Bob Bramble, who wears number 24, the talented young man from Brooklyn who rushed for over 300 yards against Amherst, will be the deep man hoping to get his hands on the football. He'll have Tony Bostic alongside. That is Bob Bramble, number 24. Here's the kick by Jim Oliver. It will not carry very deep. At the 18-yard line, Bill Burke, number 43, knocked out of bounds on about the 27-yard line. So Bill Burke, who had such a great first half. Now for American International, their center is Ed Sabula. He is all east. Co-captain Norm Gallagher at right guard and Tom Brubaker at left guard. Jim Shea and Ed Rakes are the tackles. The wide receiver, Jim Vallis, 15. The tight end is Gary Wright, 92. Brian McLean is the quarterback. He is number 12. With Bramble, Strange, and Burke in the backfield, and play will start from the 27-yard line. Brian McLean on the first play from scrimmage in the second half of the game. An American International sitting on a 20-7 lead. Bramble, number 24, across the 30 and almost to the 35, knocked down on defense by Jack Quinn. And defensively for Springfield, the middle guard is Brian Howler, number 71. Brad Basurgeon and Dave Magazoo, the tackles, with Lars Hauk and Tom Wisnowski playing the defensive ends. Doug McKinney and Mark Harriman back the line. Frank Manello and Tony Paoletto, the defensive halfbacks, with Jack Quinn and Brad Culkin as the defensive safeties. This will be second down and 4 following the 6-yard gain. Coming in motion is Bob Bramble, number 24. Mark Strange, the fullback, number 23. And a good hard hit by Mark Harriman, number 51, the linebacker, helped out by Tom Wisnowski, number 89, the defensive right end. And so that was strong defensive play by Springfield College. Stopping number 23, Mark Strange, the 230-pound fullback.
That was a play that Springfield was not able to stop during the first half. The fullback coming inside of guard and tackle right up the middle is a play that made a lot of yardage, and so it appears that Springfield has set its defenses at halftime and is going to be able to cope with that play.
Captain Jack Quinn already has 10 tackles in the football game for Springfield College, and so this is third down and short yardage. Bramble, number 24, tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. Tom Wisnowski, number 89, made a big play. Wisnowski from Middlebury, Vermont, and oh, what a big play for Springfield.
Tom Wisnowski, right at the bottom of your screen, number 89. Watch him come across the line of scrimmage. He will not be denied. He is blocked, but he still comes up with the tackle. He was blocked by number 64, Norm Gallagher, but still made a fine play.
This is Rick Theriault, and he will punt for the first time today. He does a nice job. He hits it well. Frank Manello is hit as he makes the catch and is down on the 36-yard line. Frank Manello, number 35, is hit down by Bill Burke, number 43. And we have seen so much of Burke as a running back here today.
Well, he showed he can play well on the special teams there, and that's the way you stop the number 1 punt returner in the country, by simply not allowing him to return the punt. Fine job by Tom Burke.
Mike Dupree, the center, with Glenn Pyers and Tony DeRico as the guards. And here is the play, and it is going to be Jim Collis. Joe Schroeder makes the tackle. Now setting the offense for Springfield, Glenn Pyers and Tony DeRico are the guards. Steve Foster and Ron Ricks are the tackles. Kenyon and Cherry are the ends, with John Cherry as the wide receiver. Now John Vella comes in for Kenyon. They have been alternating in bringing in the plays. This will be second down and 10, and the quarterback is Jim Collis. Bob O'Raz comes in motion. Collis still has the football, and Collis this time over the 40 and out to about the 43-yard line. Randy Becker, a freshman defensive tackle, number 76, tripped him up. Ohio State, Paul Warfield, leading Michigan State 21-0 in the second quarter.
Well, Ohio State is looking good, and Earl Bruce has done a magnificent job down there this year, taking over from Woody Hayes the very first year. Earl has got that team really rolling.
And Arkansas, the Razorbacks, leading Houston 10-7 at the half. This is third down and 5, and Collis, the lefty quarterback, wants to throw it. And a diving try by Bob O'Raz, number 23. He is the flanker back. Boy, he looked like a center fielder diving for that one, Paul.
That's right. This time, Collis rolls to his left, pitches the ball. It goes a little bit low and outside, but O'Raz, watch it. Good concentration, goes down for it, couples the ball underneath the turf, makes a fine catch.
First and 10 Springfield now, their own 47-yard line. We're early in the second half of the football game, and the Chiefs are trailing by a score of 20-7. This is the flanker, Bob O'Raz, coming in motion, and it is Cicero, number 31. Playing fullback, and oh, does he open that one as he plows it across the 45 into the 44, and Mike Chaput, number 22, the safety, out of North Andover, gets the tackle.
We haven't seen very much of Cicero this afternoon, but he's running right behind his offensive line, catches a good hole, levels off, and puts his head down and picks up the tough yardage before being brought down by Chaput.
Coach Howard Vandersea, and that was good for 9. Second down and 1. Norm England, who was hurt in the first half, is back in the ball game, and I believe he has the 1st and 10, getting the ball to the 40 and just beyond, where he's hit by Randy Becker. Springfield College trailing 20-7. They lost Norm England for a while in the first half of the football game, but he is back now. Of course, they are playing without their first-string fullback, George Richardson, who has rushed for 424 yards this year. That was Bob Burke. And now it is 1st and 10. Collis, the quarterback, will keep and will run to the 35-yard line. Taken over the sideline of the 35 by Mike Chaput. We've seen a lot of Chaput today.
Well, number 15, Collis, certainly has his football club moving down the field at this juncture. In the first half, he may move his team down the field in good shape, but somehow or another, Springfield College will give up the football on a fumble or turn it over. This time, let's see if they can hold on to the ball.
So this is 2nd and 5, and the quarterback is the sophomore, Cowboy Jim Collis. And Raz goes in motion. Might have been an offside. Cicero, 31, the ball carrier. He's got more than 5, more than enough for a first down. He's down to the 26-yard line. Tony Cicero, tackled by Mike Chaput, but that's a 1st and 10. In the second quarter, the Nittany Lions of Penn State lead West Virginia 10-6. Pittsburgh 3 and undefeated Navy nothing in the second quarter. Miami of Florida leading Syracuse 7-6 in the second quarter. Yale over Pennsylvania 7-0 in the second quarter. First down play for Springfield, Jim Collis. And he gets away from a tackler and goes down to the 22-yard line. Mike Chaput once again, number 22. He's in on about every tackler, so it seems, the last few minutes. Cornell leading Dartmouth 7-0, second quarter. It is Princeton 6, Harvard nothing in the second. Columbia 7, Colgate nothing in the second. Brown and Holy Cross 7-7 in the second. This is 2nd down and 5 for Springfield. They have a good drive working. They put O'Raz in motion. Cicero right behind. This is Cicero, the fullback. Through the middle, Cicero across the 15. And Tony Cicero goes down to the 13. Number 30 is Bob Poirier playing the cornerback, and he makes the tackle. Another first down for Springfield. That's Tony Cicero, and he's having a good day right now.
Well, he's starting to open up here in the second half. At that time, Tony Cicero went right behind his center, number 50, Mike Dupree, who got a fine block on number 79, Todd Lyon, and ran up the middle for good yardage.
Springfield started this drive back on their 27-yard line, and it is going to be Cicero. And the gain will be short across the 10. Cicero, number 31, stopped to the 9 by Randy Becker, who has replaced Bill Rimza as a nose guard. John Vella and Kevin Kenyon take the plays in from Coach Howard Vandersea. They're alternating as the wide receiver.
Well, as Howard Vandersea said, he's not going to change very much in this half, and he hasn't thus far. He still believes in his offensive run game, and they're moving the ball.
2nd down and 7 inside the 10-yard line. 36 yards now for Tony Cicero and 5 carries. Cicero smothered this time. Todd Lyon, number 79, getting up. The senior 250-pound right tackle from Danvers.
Todd Lyon will come from your screen left to right. There he comes, breaks clean. Nobody blocks him, and he tackles Cicero, number 31, for a very short game. Big play by American International's Todd Lyon.
And so with the ball on the 10-yard line, it is 3rd down at 8 yards to go. Let's see if the Cowboy will take to the air. Raz will go in motion. Ernie General follows him man for man, and the pitch to Norm England, number 32. England over the 5 and down to the 4-yard line. They do not have to score to get a 1st and 10, but they don't have it on that particular play. Ernie General, who went with the man in motion, helped Mike Phillips in making the tackle.
Norm England, who's been the workhorse of Springfield's offense, got up on that play limping slightly. He does not come out of the ball game, still in there, so apparently it's just maybe a slight little bump on his thigh.
They could get a first down on the 2-yard line. It is 4th down and 2 yards to go with the ball on the 4-yard line. So let's watch the play. Collis, the quarterback, hit and thrown. Oh, he gets it off to England. England scored. Collis got the ball off to Norm England, and England takes it in for the touchdown, scoring from 4 yards out. It looked like Collis would not be able to get it away, Paul, but he got it away beautifully.
Well, he's a very clever ball handler, and he runs the option, as we said many times before, exceptionally well. He held on the ball just at the right moment, timed it, flipped the pitch to England, who had enough gas to get in the end zone to give a score for Springfield College.
Here's the point after by Jim Oliver. He hits it very high and very accurately. The kick is good. And now it is a 20-14 football game. Here's the touchdown play.
All right, here's the option play. There's Collis. Watch him draw the defense. Now flip it out to England. There's England breaking to the outside of the defense. Gets in for the score.
England scoring from 4 yards out, and we have a football game. 20-14 AIC, and we'll be coming right back. Second long touchdown drive of the day for Springfield. They've had a 74 and now a 63. And we have a football game. It is 20-14 AIC. Jim Oliver, number 16, will boot the ball off for Springfield. Bob Bramble, number 24, from his own 6-yard line. Bramble to the 20, 25, 30. He might cut it. Bramble at the 40. The foot race is on. Bramble may go all the way. 95 yards to a touchdown. Bob Bramble, 95 yards and a touchdown.
Well, he's the guy that can break the big plays, and that's why AIC has him back there in the deep spot. Springfield has done a fine job of defending him when running from behind the line of scrimmage, but with the kind of speed that that young man has, you know sooner or later he's going to break one. And that sooner or later came right on this kickoff play as he started right up his left side, so behind some nice blocking. Now it's off to the races. A couple of defenders from Springfield are after him, nipping at his heels, but all the way, running alone. Touchdown AIC.
Bob Bramble, who ran for over 300 yards against Amherst earlier in the year. A 95-yard kickoff return. Now Jim Ballas, who has not missed all season, will try to make it 3 of 3 here today. And the kick by Jim Ballas is up, and it is good. So Ballas is 3 for 3, and the score is now 21-14 in favor of American, 27-14 in favor of American International. And there's Bob Bramble, the man of the moment. So on a 95-yard return by Bob Bramble, it's now 27-14. American International will be coming right back. And here is the kick now by Jim Ballas. Frank Manello, number 35, from his 9-yard line. Here's Manello, number 35, trying to come to the sideline. And Manello can turn it on. He's knocked out at the 37-yard line. But it is a beautiful 28-yard return by Frank Manello. And so the score, 27-14. It was Tom Piesco who knocked him out of bounds. It'll be now Springfield 1st and 10 on their own 36-yard line. In the second quarter, Connecticut 7, Massachusetts nothing. In the third quarter, Boston University leading Rhode Island 7-0. New Hampshire 7, Northeastern nothing. A second quarter score. Jim Collis to Cicero. Penalty flags are down. The play is stopped on the 39-yard line. But Paul, one of the few flags we've had on this game today.
That's right. That time it was flanker Bob Orez was moving just before snap, and I think it's going to go against Springfield.
5-yard penalty against Springfield. The ball goes back to the 31-yard line. Looking in on other scores, Maine 21 and Lafayette 7 in the second quarter. Bucknell 6, Lehigh nothing in the second. Delaware 20, William and Mary nothing in the second. Delaware leads the nation in Division II in the poll. Kentucky State 2, Delaware State nothing in the first quarter. And Penn State now leading West Virginia 10-6 in the second. Pittsburgh 3, Navy nothing in the second. Boston College leading Army 6-0 in the first. Miami of Florida 7, Syracuse 6 in the second. Yale 7, Pennsylvania nothing in the second. First down and 15 now for Springfield College. Jim Collis is the quarterback. His team behind 27-14, and the flip to Norm England is incomplete. Mike Chaput, number 22, was right alongside.
It's going to be interesting to see whether Springfield can come back after putting together a nice 74-yard drive, not having any mistakes, to come back after AIC blitzed them with the big 95-yard return. And that sort of takes the sting out of a football team. And so we're going to see a little bit about Springfield's character right here and see if they're the kind of football club that Howard Fantasy thinks they are.
This is the time that will really test the character of a team. Bob Oraz goes in motion on 2nd down and 15. Norm England, the tailback, number 32. England running beautifully up to midfield and beyond. And he goes to the 48-yard line of AIC before Ernie General can push him out of bounds. So we have a lot of excitement with college football here this afternoon, and we'll watch Norm England again.
Norm England on the delayed draw, breaking right up the middle. Nothing wrong with his character. He's been tested all afternoon long, and he's come through with high marks.
And he picked up 16 yards on the rush. He now has 100 yards for the afternoon. On 18 carries, 100 yards. Collis reverses his direction, and he is not going to get away with any gain at this point in time. Remember, on the second game of our ABC doubleheader this afternoon, it's unbeaten Florida State going down into the area of Louisiana to play the Tigers of LSU. Florida State ranked number 7, undefeated. LSU ranked number 17. You'll see it over these ABC stations. And winning at LSU, Paul Warfield, is tough to do.
It's very tough to do when you go against those Bayou Bengals down there.
This is 2nd down and 9 as Bob Oraz goes in motion. Jim Collis will throw, and he does successfully. To number 44, John Vella. John Vella, who alternates as the split end.
All right. Is Jim Collis rolling to his left? What he does so well this time, finding number 44 wide open there in the secondary. Comes up with the catch. 44, John Vella.
Kevin Pena made the tackle, and so a 1st and 10 for Springfield. And this team showing that they do have character. They are coming right back. A 1st and 10 down on the 32. And again, they put the flanker in motion. Collis wants to pitch, and he does to Norm England. He's still in trouble. Out of bounds. He'll lose. So a loss on the play as Norm England is chased out of bounds. Todd Sikorka, who made such a big play earlier in the day, and Andy Cohen, a sophomore, number 46, came over to apply the defensive pressure, and we have 5:19 to play in the 3rd quarter. AIC with a 27-14 lead.
The guy who made the initial hit, number 16, Ernie General, was the guy who knocked England back, and then Sikorka came and cleaned up on the tackle.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go as Oraz goes in motion, covered by Ernie General. Tony Cicero, the fullback, tugged down by Todd Lyon, number 79, the 250-pound senior tackle. And the way some of these men have been playing on defense as well as on offense, Paul Warfield, we're going to have a tough job selecting our Chevrolet most valuable players of today's game, selecting the most valuable player from each team.
There's no question about that. We were seeing some very fine play football on both teams, offensively and defensively.
Tony Cicero now with 40 yards on 7 carries, and this is 3rd and 6. 3rd down and 6. Big play. Collis wants to throw it on the run. Throw, he does, incomplete at the 15. A penalty flag is down. The intended receiver was Kevin Kenyon, the split end, number 48. And we'll watch the man in the white hat, Robert O'Donnell. Holding, and it goes against AIC, American International.
Bad time to get a penalty like that. That's going to be an automatic 1st down for Springfield. It's going to keep their drive going. The mistakes seeming to balance out now going into the second half of the ball game. First half, Springfield, of course, making a few costly errors.
And the penalty will give a 1st down. That was on a 3rd and 6 play. It'll be a 1st and 10 for Springfield down on the 13-yard line of American International. And remember that Springfield started this drive back on their own 36-yard line after Bob Bramble had returned a kickoff 95 yards for a touchdown.
Well, we talked about the character, and as you said, Springfield is showing what they're made out of, and they're coming right back.
So it's 1st and 10 on the 13. Collis still has it. He's the quarterback. Collis across the 10 to the 9-yard line. Mike Chaput, number 22. Seems like he's had a hand on an awful lot of defensive tackles today.
Well, he's made his share of tackles today, either assisting or making tackles solo, but he's been around the football, at least the ball carrier, all afternoon long.
Kevin Kenyon brings the play in. He alternates with John Vella as the wide receiver now for Howard Fantasy's Chiefs of Springfield College. That was Mike Chaput, number 22. And so it is 2nd down and 6, the ball just across the 10-yard line. Jim Collis. Collis rolling out. He's in trouble. Todd Lyon putting on heat. throws it on the run, incomplete. Almost intercepted in the end zone by that same number 22, Mike Chaput, C-H-A-P-U-T, from North Andover, Massachusetts.
Well, wherever you find the ball today, you're going to find Mike Chaput. That time, Jim Collis couldn't quite find a receiver to throw to. He was trying to throw the ball away, almost made a mistake and threw it right into the hands of Chaput.
Well, Paul Warfield, your famous school, Ohio State, now leading Michigan State by a score of 28-0 in the second quarter. They are really doing well. Third quarter, Arkansas 10 and Houston 7. Second game of our doubleheader today, Florida State at LSU on ABC. Big play here, third down and 6. Collis rolling out. Looking to the end zone, throwing. Oh, it's incomplete. He had John Vella, number 44, and Bob Orez, number 23, the flanker back. Both men were there, and they were kind of fighting for the football, Paul.
Well, it was just a mix-up between the two receivers, both in the same area that time. Collis rifled the ball in between defenders. Unfortunately, two receivers, right in the same area. Both of them thought the pass was for them, John Vella and Bob Orez. And unfortunately for Springfield, they come up with nothing on that play when they should have had 6 points.
Syracuse leading Miami of Florida 15-7 in the second quarter. Penn State leads West Virginia 10-6 in the second. Navy leading Pittsburgh now 7-3 in the second. Princeton 6, Harvard nothing in the second. And next Monday night on ABC's Monday Night Football, Jim Zorn, what a passer, with the Seattle Seahawks going against Steve Bartkowski and the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. What do you think of that game, Paul Warfield?
Well, not a bad left-hander in that ball game. Jim Zorn, he can fill the air with footballs and a lot of excitement, and Steve Bartkowski for the Atlanta Falcons is a fine passer of his own. Should be a fine ball game on Monday night.
So now a very tough decision to be made right here by Springfield. It is 4th down and 6. They are trailing 27-14. We are late in the third quarter, and they are not thinking field goal, Paul. They are thinking they've got to get a 1st and 10. It is 4th down and 6 to go. The man with the burden right here is Jim Collis, the quarterback that they call Cowboy. And the crowd is up, realizing how large this one play can become. Jim Collis on the roll, and he throws for the end zone. Vella, number 44, a touchdown. John Vella, number 44, sophomore wide receiver, and he gathers it in for a touchdown. The scoring play will be 13 yards, and Springfield has come right back into the football game. Beautiful pass from Collis to Vella.
Well, I like this kind of football. Springfield going for the 6 points rather than going for the 3. That time it worked perfectly for them, and now they're really into the ball game.
Jim Oliver, and the flags are all over the place. Let's watch the referee. What a comeback by Springfield College. Remember, they started the drive back on their own 36-yard line, and they get a breath of life right here. The penalty is against American International, and now they'll have another shot at adding the point after touchdown. At the moment, the score is 27-20.
Jim Collis rolling this time to his right, pulling up, firing to number 44, John Vella, as he breaks across the middle for a catch.
A 64-yard scoring drive, and now Springfield has had 3 very long scoring drives in the game. Let's keep an eye. Collis will hold. Jim Oliver will kick. It's high into the air. This is good. So Jim Oliver has converted with 3:21 to play in the third quarter. It's 27-21 AIC. Back in a moment. The last time Springfield kicked off to Bob Bramble of AIC, Bob Bramble, the speedster from Brooklyn, ran 95 yards for a touchdown. Believe it or not, it is not a stadium record. The record is 99 by Frank Manello, who leads the nation in kickoff returns playing for Springfield. Jim Oliver puts toe to the ball. And this one is a grounder being picked up by Bramble. Bramble starting from his own 6. Across the 20, hit down on the 25-yard line. Bramble this time is down on the 25-yard line, and we really have a football game going. 27-21 with 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. And this time AIC will be starting from their own 25-yard line. Penn State 10, West Virginia 6 in the second. Arkansas leading Houston 10-7 in the third. Ohio State 28, Michigan nothing in the second. Indiana, Michigan 14-14. Something of a surprise. Now Brian McLean has quarterbacked all the way for the Yellow Jackets of American International. They lead 27-21. Bill Burke in motion. Burke gets the ball. Burke is the ball carrier over the 25, and he reaches the 26-yard line. Mark Harriman, number 51, inside linebacker, made the stop for Springfield.
Well, a little bit earlier, we were talking about what Springfield would be made out of and testing their character. Now, with the momentum starting to shift, we're going to find out exactly how American International College is going to react to the challenge of coming back.
Not once but twice, Springfield has been painted into a corner only to leap out of it. And now we take a look as Brian McLean throws and to his tight end, Gary Wright. Wright, number 92, 6'4", 235 pounds. And he caught the ball just over the 30 at about the 31-yard line. It is not a 1st and 10. Harriman and Culkin combined on the tackle.
It's a big play coming up. It's a short yardage play. American International needs to make this yardage to maintain possession of the football. And, of course, on the other side, Springfield would love to stack them up, gain possession of the football again, and try to go ahead in the ball game.
Let's keep our eye on Mark Strange, the big fullback, number 23, sitting right behind the quarterback. This is Strange going for the first down over the 35 and to about the 37-yard line. Mark Strange, 230-pound senior fullback from Wilbraham, Massachusetts. Wisnowski and Paoletti doing the tackling. Penn State now has opened up a 24-6 lead over West Virginia in the second. Navy 7, Pittsburgh 3 in the second. Syracuse 15, Miami, Florida 7 in the second. At the half, Yale 10, Pennsylvania nothing. Cornell 7, Dartmouth nothing in the second. Princeton 6, Harvard nothing in the second. Moving in motion, Tony Bostic, number 34, Strange, number 23, and he comes running hard up to the 40-yard line where he's hit down by Tony Perry, number 84. Colorado 3, Nebraska nothing. It's early in the game, so not a shocker as yet. The Longhorns lead SMU 3-0 in the first. Arkansas 10, Houston 7 in the third quarter, and Ohio State 28, Michigan State nothing in the second. Not surprising Ohio State is winning, Paul. The score is something of a surprise.
Well, Ohio State is getting better by the week down there at Columbus and really doing a great job.
This is 2nd down and 7. AIC from their own 40-yard line. Takes the Burke. Pass by McLean. Downfield for Bramble. Bramble made a beautiful catch at the 35-yard line in the arms of defender Frank Marino. What a play by Bob Bramble.
Well, we said you'll see him line up at several positions, back in the running back spot, at the tailback spot, and also outside as a wide receiver. And this young man broke down through the center on a post pattern that time. Fine football play. Neither of these teams are quitting. It's just a great game.
What a game we have going here at Benham Field in Springfield. First down on the 35 of Springfield. AIC owns the ball, and on a counter play coming back over would be Bill Burke. It was Bob Bramble, not Burke. There's another Burke, Coach Bob Burke on the sidelines. His team in front at the moment, 27-21, and the seconds are ticking out now. We have just about come to the end of the third quarter of the football game. 5 seconds to play. There he is, Bob Bramble. They've shut him down running from the lines, running on the ground from behind the scrimmage line, but he's been electrifying otherwise. At the end of the third quarter, American International 27 and Springfield College 21, and back with the fourth quarter in a moment. Fourth and final quarter, 27-21 AIC. They have a 2nd down and 8 on the 33-yard line of Springfield. The throw is Brian McLean to Bill Burke, number 43. And Burke at the 25-yard line across the way, pushed out by Tony Paoletti and by Mark Harriman. And Brian McLean, although not hitting a high percentage of his passes, the ones that he has hit today, they have been dealing a devastating effect.
Well, he's hit the critical pass at the critical time, seemingly all day long. The possession passes, he's hit the passes when they needed to keep the ball moving. And that time, well, he had his number 1 receiver, number 15, Jim Vallis, downfield deep, and he might want to come back to him a little bit later on.
First down on the 25-yard line is Brian McLean. The sophomore quarterback gets ready to move it once again. They started this drive back on their own 26-yard line. Strange, the fullback. Mark Strange plowing down beyond the 15 and down to the 14-yard line. Tony Paoletti, number 46, getting up. And it's been one long drive after another all afternoon. Paul Warfield, this is the kind of college football you love.
It really is. It's just exciting. You know, normally you see in the course of a ball game, a team will drive the field, the length of the field, maybe once or twice during the entire game. But both teams have demonstrated time and time again that they can push this football up and down the football field.
With that 5 long, beautiful drive. Strange now with 73 yards in the ball game rushing. He is the fullback. Bramble, number 24. Bramble trying to go outside. Nailed at about the 11-yard line. Bob Bramble. In a national headliner, Auburn leads Wake Forest 28-20 in the second quarter. Imagine that, Paul Warfield, 28-20, and they're only in the second quarter.
Wake Forest is a fine football team, very explosive, and they can come back.
And Georgia leading Kentucky 17-0 in the second. Tulsa over Florida 3-0 at the half. Maryland 17, Duke nothing at the half. Right here it is second down and 7 for AIC. They're down on the Springfield College 12-yard line. Brian McLean, the quarterback, and Bill Burke, number 43. Penalty flags are down. He's right at the goal line, maybe a yard short. But we'll have to watch the referee, Robert O'Donnell, right here. It may come back. It may stand up. We'll take a look. It will stand up. The penalty will go against Springfield College. He ran it all the way down to the 1-yard line. Brian Papp, a 260-pound defensive tackle, comes in on the goal line stand. They take a linebacker, Doug McKinney, out. And so it is goal to go right here for AIC. The Yellow Jackets have a 27-21 lead, and they have driven, if they score it, 75 yards. A touchdown a yard and a half away, and diving for the score will be Bob Bramble. I believe. Let's check it. No, it's Mark Strange. So there is Bob Bramble going off the field. And now, after a 75-yard drive, as we check the replay.
Burke. Bill Burke is the guy who's been giving you the tough yardage all afternoon. And at that time, he ran right in between tackle and guard and pushed it over for the 6 points.
Let's watch Jim Ballas now try to make it 4 for 4 on the afternoon. He is some kind of kicker. He has not missed all year long. Ballas now is 18 out of 18 for the year. So now with 13:22 to play, it is AIC 34 and Springfield 21. Back for the kickoff in a moment. Coming up next on NCAA college football, undefeated Florida State playing at LSU. Washington at UCLA, Utah State at Arizona State, and Eastern Kentucky at Murray State. All regionals on ABC television. And now the kick by AIC. And Frank Manello, number 35 from the 15. Manello can go, and he's across the 30 and out to the 33-yard line. Frank Manello getting it back to the 33-yard line. And now Paul Warfield will see if one more time the Springfield College team can keep their cool as they have all day long.
It's been a real seesaw battle. American International College just seems to come back every time that Springfield puts a score on the board, and we'll see what Springfield is going to be able to do this time. They need a touchdown right here.
Tony Cicero, the fullback. They give the ball to Cicero. He gets to the 35. Gain of about 2 and stopped by linebacker Mike Phillips. What a football game. 34-21 now, American International. Last year it was 41-27 with AIC winning it. North Carolina State and Clemson are 13-13, and they're in the fourth quarter. Maryland leading Duke 17-0 at the half. North Carolina 21, East Carolina 10, and that is in the third quarter. This is second down and 7 for Springfield. Bob O'Raz, number 23, goes in motion. And now Collis, the left-handed quarterback, will have to throw it. A penalty flag is down. He gets to the 37-yard line, and he has Todd Lyon all over him. Todd is number 79, and the penalty is against Springfield. Flag thrown. The penalty will go against Springfield as we watch the referee, Robert O'Donnell. There's Todd Lyon, number 79. And when we think about our Chevrolet Most Valuable Player Awards, he certainly will have to get consideration.
Well, it's a biggie this time, a 15-yarder for holding, and certainly Springfield doesn't need that kind of penalty at this stage of the ballgame, although there's plenty of time on the clock, right around 12 minutes and 38 seconds. Springfield now faces a 1st and 25 situation, almost definitely having to put the ball up in the air.
And a tough moment for that man, Howard Vandersea, the coach of Springfield College. It is 25 on first. So Cowboy Jim Collis, the left-handed quarterback, hands the ball off to Tony Cicero. And Cicero, the fullback, goes to about the 25. And we'll be selecting the Chevrolet most valuable players of the ball game late in the ball game, and $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund in that player's name to his school for the recipients here this afternoon. The Chevrolet Most Valuable Player Award, one per school, and we'll be selecting a most valuable player from each team. This is 3rd down and long as Bob Oraz goes in motion. At this time, Norm England jolted hard at the line of scrimmage. Tailback Norm England met by Mike Phillips and also met by Randy Becker. Becker, number 76, is a freshman nose guard, and he has played an awful lot, and so is 4th and long. And now Springfield will have to turn the ball over, and they trail by 13 points.
Well, American International College's defense did the job that time, stopping Springfield cold, forcing the Chiefs to come up and punt, and now AIC will get another crack offensively.
And Tony Green, the big tackle, does the punting. Fair catch called by Bob Bramble at the 41-yard line. So, at the 41, 1st and 10, American International. We're in the last quarter of action, and we'll be coming back for more in just a moment. Throwing 41-yard line, Brian McLean is their quarterback. Bill Burke, by the way, has had quite a day. He now has scored 3 of the 4 touchdowns. He has gained 85 yards. And this is Mark Strange. Strange has had a big day. He's gained about 75 yards so far today, Paul.
It's all been hard running, inside guard and tackle. He's been clearing the way up the middle for AIC, while Burke, on the other hand, has been running off tackle to the outside. And, of course, there's always the dangerous possibility that Bob Bramble will break one going on a sweep to the far outside.
Michigan 21, Indiana 14. They have a good one going, and they're in the 4th quarter. This is 2nd down and 6 for the Yellow Jackets of American International. And the ball is pitched to Burke, number 43, and Burke across the 45, and a flag thrown across the way. That might have been a late hit. At the sideline, Tom Wisnowski was there on defense, and we'll have to check this one out. And while we're watching the referee, Oklahoma leads Iowa State 7-0 in the 1st quarter. And in the Auburn game, Auburn now has moved ahead of Wake Forest, 38-20 at the half. The game being played at Wake Forest, and this is a major penalty being stepped off against Springfield College.
This 15-yarder is face masking. 15-yard penalty is going to help American International College move the ball across into Springfield territory.
So the face mask penalty going against Springfield. Howard Vandersea, the coach of Springfield College. And American International could just about put it away if they can take this one in to score. We're in the 4th quarter and 10 to play. They have a 1st down on the 37-yard line of Springfield. Brian McLean is the quarterback, and this is Mark Strange, the big fullback. He's going to wind up with close to a 100-yard day the way it has been going for him. He's 6'3" and 230. He got 97 yards earlier in the year against C.W. Post. So the ball now is on the 34. Strange, by the way, 18 carries. He's had a busy day and 82 yards. And there is his mentor, Bob Burke. Burke, 35 years old, his 4th year.
It has been an impressive attack, running attack, that has been demonstrated by American International College. Inside hard running and good outside running.
This is 2nd down and 7 on the 34. American International moving the football. Bramble will go in motion. They'll give to Bramble. Bramble 24, very little, maybe 2 or 3 yards, being smothered with Mark Harriman, the linebacker, number 51, getting in there first on defense. 47-21 last year. And now it is 34-21, American International leading Springfield College in the battle for the Mayor's Trophy. Trophy will be presented at the end of the game by the longtime Springfield Mayor, Theodore DeMauro. We've had a swell football day, a real beautiful New England autumn day. This is 3rd down and 5. Now Gary Wright, the tight end, switches with Jim Ballas, the wide receiver. And back to throw is Brian McLean. The flags are down. The pass is incomplete. The heat was on that time. Gary Wright, the intended receiver, but that is incomplete and a flag down. This will go against American International. Time remaining now is 8:55. It is 34-21. Bill Burke has scored 3 of the 4 Yellow Jacket touchdowns and has rushed for about 85 yards. Been a marvelous game to watch. We've had not 1 but 5 long scoring drives in the game. Some terrific kicking by Jim Vallis. He's 4 for 4 point after and 2 for 2 in field goals.
It's been a fine football game, the kicking, but the great running attack that's been featured by both teams has really been the outstanding point of this entire game.
Well, here's a long try coming up here. If they pull it off from the 40-yard line, the kick is going to come up short. And this was not the regular kicker trying to boot that one. So the field goal attempt will be coming up short. 8:52 to play, 34-21 AIC, and we return in just a moment. 8:52 left in the game, 34-21 American International. The clock has become an enemy for this team, the Springfield College Chiefs. They have a 1st and 10 on their own 31-yard line. And the ball is being given to Cicero, number 31. Tony Cicero does well, gets up over the 35 and out up over the 40 to about the 41-yard line where Todd Lyon brings him down. And Paul Warfield, the clock has now become an enemy for this team right here, trailing by 13.
Great running here by Cicero, picking his way and then demonstrating that he's a hard running back, picking up a few extra yards on his own. Fine running play, but with a little less than 8 minutes and 24 seconds left to go, I'm not sure this is the way that they're going to get down the field in a hurry.
They go for the 1st down here with Jim Collis, the Cowboy quarterback, making the 1st and 10. 1st down at the 45. So if Springfield is to pull this one out, they trail by 13. Paul Warfield, how are they going to go about it?
Well, I think at this juncture in the ball game, they've got to somewhat abandon their run game plan, and they've got to go a little bit more to the air. You've got just about 8 minutes left in this ball game. They're at least a touchdown. They need 2 touchdowns to win this game, and so they're going to have to put it up.
There's Howard Vandersea. The setbacks are Cicero and England. Raz, who's been in motion all day, comes once again. Collis now on the rollout. He throws from this, and this one is completed at the 41, I believe, to Kevin Kenyon. Kenyon, number 48, the split end, makes a diving catch, and he caught it just before it hit what they call the super turf.
Here's the sprint out to the left, and this is Collis. He's looking for number 48, Kevin Kenyon, who goes down to his knees. Great concentration to scoop up the ball. 1st down, Springfield. They've got to keep going this way.
And they're on the 42-yard line now. Cicero, the big fullback, fights off a tackler over the 35. Almost a 10-yard gain, down to the 31-yard line. Todd Lyon, number 79, makes the tackle. And this man, Tony Cicero, is having a big day and a very strong second half.
He has really come alive in the second half with his bull-like rushes through the middle, that time demonstrating the same way that he did it on the previous carry, running over people to make the 1st down.
Tony Cicero averaging about 6 yards a carry, Paul. He has 67 yards on 11 carries. The chains will tell us whether or not he went the length of the chain on that last bull-like rush.
Well, he hasn't carried very much here in the entire ball game. He's gotten more work in the second half, but he's keeping this drive going. And also, Springfield has got to put the points on the board. They need to get the points on the board as fast as possible. They need another possession at least to go ahead if they can score this time.
If they can score and convert here, then, of course, they're in that position of scoring and winning with a conversion. That was the 1st down. 1st and 10 down on the 32-yard line. Cicero and England are the setbacks.